Hello and welcome. In this short video, I want to show you how you can analyze multiple metrics using a single visual based on the selection by your users. So here we have a simple decomposition tree which we are trying to analyze a key metric from our web page. So here we are looking at the metric here which we want to analyze it by the customer type, the region, the source from where they visited our web page, and then the browsers that they are using to access the content on our web page. But instead of restricting our users to a single metric, we want to offer them the flexibility to pick or select the metric that they want to analyze. So here we have provided it to them using the slicer. So if they want to analyze the page views across these dimensions, they can make the selection from the slicer and everything will be updated based on their selection. If they want to look at it in terms of the product sold, they can make the selection here and everything will be updated. And I have placed in this multi-card so that we'll be able to compare the values. So for now, it's showing the 5,977, which is for the total product sold. If they want to look at it in terms of the total sales, they can make the selection here. And if you compare the value here, it's exactly the same as the value that we have on the multi-card. So this is what I want to show you, and I'll show you everything from the scratch. So I'll go ahead and then go to the next page, which I have a blank canvas. So the first thing that we need to do is to give the users the slices from which they are going to make their selection. So I don't have that data within my model now, so I will go ahead and then use this option to enter those metrics. So I'll go to enter data. So here I'm going to give it a name, metrics. So I want them to be able to pick total sales and then total total page views and then total product sold. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and then give them index numbers or just numbers, which I'm going to use in my DAX formula. So this will be 1, and then 2, and then 3. So based on the selection from the slicer, because we are going to put this onto a slicer for them to be able to pick the metric that they want to show. Then from their selection, I want a DAX that will be able to give us the number. And this is the number that we are going to use to show the metric that they need to see from the visual that we are going to provide them. So I'll go ahead and give this a name, which will be my selected metrics. So I'm going to load it. So now I will go to the new table, that's the selected metric, and then pick the metrics. So what I will do is to convert this into a slicer. So now we have the slicer here. So I will go to the format pane and change the orientation. So I'm going to pick vertical and horizontal. So now we have it here. So this is the slicer our users are going to make the selection. Okay, so they can pick any metric that they want to show. Now the next thing we need to do is to write a measure that will be able to give us the number of the item that they have selected here. But if you take a look at this, this has not been arranged based on the numbers that we give. So we go ahead and then sort this. So I'll go to my data view and then pick the table, that's the selected metrics. And I'm going to pick the metrics column, go to the column tools, and then go to sort by. So I want to sort it by the number. So I'll go back to the report view. So now this has been arranged or sorted based on the number. So now we need a measure that will be able to give us the number of the selected item. So I'll go back to my measures table and then insert a new measure. So I'll call it selected metric. So I'll use a DAX formula called selected value. Selected value, which is here. So I'll just double click this and then the selected value of the table that we have. So that was the name selected metric. In that case, I want it to show me the number. So I'll just pick this option. So show me the selected metric number based on the selection from this slicer. So I just press enter. The name already exists. So I'll close this and then go and then add S. So I'll be able to differentiate it from the one we already have here. So I'll call it S. I'll add S to this and press enter. So now if I go back to my metrics table, I have it here. So I'll just select this and then convert it into a card. So now it's showing me 1 because I have selected total sales. If I pick the total page views, it will show me 2. If I pick the total product sold, it will show me 3. So this we are going to use this number into another measure that will be able to give us the metric to show. So I'll go ahead to my metrics table and then insert a new measure. So here I'm going to call it selected KPI. So here I'm going to use the DAX formula called switch. So it will look at the number and then switch the number for me. So if the number is 1, it will show me the total sales measure. If the number is 2, it will show me the total page views measure. And if the number is 3, it will show me the total product sold measure. So I'll write my switch and then just double click this. So the expression is going to be this. That's the selected metrics. So I'll type in my braces selected metrics. And what I will say is that if the value of the selected metrics is 1, then show me the total sales measure, comma. Then if it's 2, then show me the total page view metrics. Page view metrics. If it's 3, then show me the product sold metrics here. And then if anything else, show me the total sales. So this is going to be our default value for this measure. So I'll go ahead and then close the brackets and then just press enter. So now we have the selected KPI here. So this is the measure that we are going to use in our visual. So I'll go ahead and select this. Okay, and then delete it. So I'll go ahead and insert my decomposition tree here and then try to resize everything nicely here. So I want to analyze the selected KPI. So I'll drag it into the analyze field and I want to analyze it by the browsers our users are using, by the device category, and then by the region they are coming from, and then the source from where they came to visit our page. Okay, so these are the things I want to analyze. So I'll go ahead and expand this by the region and then by the source and then by the browsers they are using, and then finally by the device category. So now we have the decomposition tree here. So by default, because we have selected the total product sold, this one is showing the total product sold measure. If I pick the total sales, it's going to show me the total sales measure. If I pick the total page views, it's going to show me that measure here. So this is how you can give your users the flexibility to alternate or change the metric that they want to show in any visual. But here I use decomposition tree because I'm a big fan of decomposition tree. But you can use the same principle with any of the visuals within Power BI.